Hello, everyone. Since today's a Sunday, I figured I'd make a video on the goal of this project. I thought about doing a video like this at the beginning, but I thought that an initial explainer video would be jarring in a sort of vacuum, just an empty channel. So I figured I'd start making a few videos before I got to this. Who I am is not important for this particular project. It might be for others. This channel is intended for other playlists, so look out for those. So we might have other, I don't know, other sort of projects that we work on this same channel. But for myself, I'm not a musician. I'm not a singing coach. I'm not an audio recording technician. You know, a lot of people like these have videos on YouTube where they review music. I just like music. I listen almost exclusively to YouTube videos, you know, during the day while I'm working. And what I watch in my free time is pretty much predominantly YouTube videos. So what do I want to do in these videos? I don't want to review these albums technically, in the sense of say whether they're good or not, right? All of these albums are good, or they wouldn't be on the list that I'm using, which I'll get to. I also don't really want to give my opinion of these albums and say this type of music I like and this type I don't. I mean, that's just all my personal taste. But this is just a project I've wanted to do for a long time. I've wanted to listen to music from sort of the beginning for a few decades now. I tried listening to the top 40 hits on this day in 1950. I've tried that before. You know, what were they playing on the radio this day 60 years ago? The problem with that approach is I'd never catch up to the present day, right? I'd always be 60 years behind or something like that. So I thought about listening to the top 10 albums of each year and, you know, doing that in a week or so. But the problem is with that approach is that maybe some years had more good albums than other years, so probably shouldn't limit it to a certain number of albums for each year. You know, and I was going to start at an arbitrary year. I think I picked 1956 when I started doing that. But then I found this data set from Acclaimed Music of the top 3,000 most highly acclaimed, at least critically acclaimed albums of all time. And that's worldwide. I thought at first it was just the United States, but it's worldwide. So this is a great data set I decided to use. And instead of doing the songs in order from, you know, the 3,000th most highly acclaimed up to the top rated album of all time, I'm going to do them in the order in which they were released, so we can see how each album was influenced and how it influences subsequent albums, to see how the techniques that are used in the music industry developed over time, to see what techniques or technologies were introduced as new things, new innovations come about, and when. So I figured I might as well document this instead of just doing it, and that has a few purposes to actually documenting it in this form. So I intend to listen to an album daily and to make a video for it, again, daily. For the most part, this gives me the motivation to actually listen to these albums, which again, I've wanted to do for years and sort of just never have. This will force me to do it. I'm also doing this to learn how to produce YouTube videos, to get familiar with the software involved, which I already have with several different software like OBS and editing tools, how to edit, how to deal with legal issues like using photos and images and music in YouTube videos. My intention is that these videos are short, just a few minutes, to not waste your or my time. That way they're very easy to produce. I do have a lot of other projects that I work on, and this will allow me to do them all in one take and to not need to edit, which is the most time-consuming part of this process, I'm sure. So at least for now, I won't really be doing any editing. Ideally, I'd like to stream these while listening to them. I wish I could stream an album and have a sort of listening party. I doubt that would there would be a feasible way to do that, but who knows? Maybe we can figure something like that out as we go along. But for now, I'll be doing these short form videos, and I'd actually prefer people did it along with me, you know, from the beginning, ideally, but you could still catch up. Even if you jump in halfway through this list, it's going to take, you know, with 3,000 albums, it's going to take at least over 8 years to do. So you should be able to jump in at any time and watch the videos in chronological order to get up to where we are at that time. So I hope you join in. Have a good one.